This is Joe Price. I'm excited to have your help with this project. We've been trying to connect together everyone that lived in Skagit County, Washington. We started by focusing on families there in the 1910 census, and now all those families are on the tree. And now what we want to do is make sure that those families are connected to other people. When you do things like relatives around me, it's really the connectedness of the tree that matters for finding those relationships. And so what we did is we ran code to explore out how big each of those family islands were. And so when you're on the sheet, you'll see a number, and that'll tell you how big the island is. And your goal is to try to connect that island to the bigger tree. So let me show you how that works. We'll jump right into the sheet. Okay, so this number right here tells you the size of the island. So this one has 21 people in it. And we have some bigger trees. We'll save those for later. We also have some smaller trees. We'll save those for later. We're kind of focusing on the sweet spot of islands that are kind of middle-sized. So let me show you how to do this. So first of all, you would just check out a few. And you can, if you don't want to do the 21s, you can go down and do 7s or 5s or 10s, whatever you feel the most comfortable. But let me show you a couple ways to approach these. With these bigger trees, one thing I do like to do, check right away, is to hit View My Relationship. Now notice that I am related to this person, which means that this person is already connected to the bigger tree. And so that will happen sometimes. And if that's the case, then you're all done. Now feel free, if you wanted to, you could still attach other sources like here. I'm going to actually just standardize this birthplace. But pretty much we're done, and you could attach other sources. But yeah, so let's go to another one. Okay, so again, I'm going to hit View My Relationship. Okay, it says no relationship found. So then one thing I'm going to start to do is maybe standardize a few things. The reason we standardize is so that records become more searchable for these people. And then what we want to do is just take a look at this tree. So notice she's got a husband, no children, and she's got a mom, but not a dad. So one thing we could do is maybe we could, and let's see about her husband. Her husband has no parents. So what I would do in this situation is I'd probably maybe find his parents or her dad. And as I do that, then we'll probably be able to connect these people to a bigger tree. So let me just show something. If you hit Show All over here in Research Help, you can see if there's any records that happen to include his parents. And so here we have a death index, which gives us an exact date of death. So we might want to put that in. And it looks like the information on the tree was slightly incorrect. And then we can also, anytime you attach census records, that can be really helpful. So here we have a census record. Okay. And now we have a kid, but notice that their child was born in 1939, so we're not going to want to add them to the tree. So let me show you what I would do in this situation. So let's go back to Henry, or John Henry. We've got him in the death index. I'm actually going to go take a look on Ancestry. And so notice now I'm just pulling up another window over here. We have some records for him. So you can see that this is probably him in the 1920 census. And this is probably him in the 1910 census, which would give him his parents. The other things I like to do is hit Edit Search, turn on Family Trees, and let's just see if maybe he shows up in a family tree. That might help us. So notice here we get a really nice family tree. It's got lots of sources, it's got some pretty good information, lots of exact dates, and if we look at our person, this is exactly our person. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to bring over information about his parents. So I'm going to hit Add Parent. I'm going to put that in there. I'll probably finish this one later, but let me just at least show you what will happen once I put some of this information in. I could put in the death information too, but sometimes I like to just hit Next, because what will often happen, do you see how here we got a great match? Let's see if that's the right mom. Perfect, mom and dad. So then we're going to hit, instead of hitting Create New Person, we're actually going to hit Add Match. We're going to select the couple. And so now here he is with his family. And the last thing we need to check is notice he was already on the tree. For whatever reason, it didn't show up as a possible duplicate because we've already gone through and done all the possible duplicates. You can see this is matching up really well. So we're going to hit Yes, Continue. And now we're done. So what we did is that little island that we started with is now connected to the bigger tree through this other family. So then I'd put a 1 right there. Okay, let me just show you one more. And again, feel free to branch out in any direction you'd like. So in this case, maybe we could find Warren's parents. So again, we check over here on Research Helps to see if maybe his parents show up in any records on the tree. We check to see if there's any census records. Let's just see, we've got a death date, which is the 2nd of April, 1970. Okay, so it looks like maybe the death date might be off just a little bit right there. And then we're always going to want to check on Ancestry so that we can maybe access a public member tree or other records. And so again, here we have some records that might be our person. We hit Edit Search, Family Trees. And notice right again, here we get a good match. You can see there he is with his wife, and on the tree now we have parents. Now notice here it says there's 28 trees. We can always click that as well. And you can see that there's lots of people that have information about his parents. You can see that they mostly agree with each other. And so sometimes you can go with the one that maybe has the most sources, or also maybe has a lot of people, because you're going to want to grow out until you hit people that are on the tree. Okay, so I'm grateful to have your help on this project. Feel free to reach out with any questions. But to emphasize what your goal is these are families that are on the tree that aren't fully connected with other people. And we want to help connect those people so that ultimately what will happen is if we have a fully connected tree in Skagit, then it'll create the kind of potential for discovery experiences at the museum, allow people to see how they're related to each other. So thanks for all your help.